All right, I am starting a new stream right now. Hopefully this is recording. I wanted to change my strings today, and so I decided to hang out with you guys, see what happens. Let me check real quick to make sure all the vocals and everything is looking all right. I've had all kinds of problems before with YouTube, so let's see. Let me unmute myself, see if this is working. Check real quick to make sure vocals and everything is looking all right. I've had all kinds of problems. All right, so good deal. I'm streaming using OBS, and I might not get to interact with you in the chat as far as typing things. So I just wanted to let you know that ahead of time. We have our tree set up, and I'm happy for that. Really glad. Man, this is kind of weird looking at myself in the tree as well. So the wifey did all that and wanted to share that with you. Figured I'd have a nice little backdrop. And I'm about to start up some Netflix Fireplace for Your Home. I love Steve Vai there. I love him too. But anyway, I love Fireplace for Your Home from Netflix. Really good stuff going on there. But I have the kitty over here. She's eagerly anticipating me to get my guitar out of the case so that she can hop in there and probably lounge around. She loves to do that. Her name is Java, and we recently added a bell to her collar. Kitty, look at me. And she loves it. She loves the collar. So she is a Russian blue and really eagerly waiting me to get that guitar out of there. So what I'll do is get the Netflix Fireplace for Your Home going, and we'll get started changing the strings on my guitar. What I wanted to do today is, let's see, let me go ahead and go to my list here. Looks like it's wanting to be weird. Fireplace for Your Home. I gotta find the right one. So please bear with me here. I think it's probably easier to go ahead and just search. So let me just go ahead and do that. My favorite one is the Birchwood edition. That's my favorite one. I just love the way it looks, and it's very nice. And so, Birchwood Fireplace. Here we go. Sorry for being a little unkempt. I haven't had a chance to shave, and I just got a haircut yesterday. I haven't had a chance to style or anything, but it's going on 4 o'clock right now. And there is the awesome Birchwood Fireplace. And if I turn it up, you guys may be able to hear it as well. So I like to switch that on whenever I'm doing writing tasks or different things like that. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, I wanted to experiment with a different string today. Still elixirs, still my favorite strings. And what I wanted to do was try working on changing to some elixir medium strings, and that is because it's not medium, but medium lights. And that is because my fingers have been having all kinds of problems. My hands have been having all kinds of problems with carpal tunnel, and I wanted to switch to these. Recently, I did a review on String Joy strings, and I realized that their string gauges, the mediums, felt more like medium lights, and it was really nice to play those higher strings being a little bit more thin. So I thought, well, I'll try doing that. So I'm about to change my Breedlove DR Deluxe Revival guitar to the Elixir strings here, and we'll just chat, you and I, here. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to have this table for my guitar. So what I'm going to have to do is move the laptop out of the way and probably move the case in the floor so that the cat will not, well, actually I may just leave it alone and try to do this to where you guys can possibly see that. You guys see that? Hopefully you can. I've got it on the top of the back of my couch here, so, and the kitty is already hiding under my guitar. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see that. Nice little decorative Christmas tree. I can't really see the chat right now. Let me see if I can move that over so that I can see that. I got this cool little app called Magnet, and it allows me to set things up on my screen a certain way. And so that's really cool. So I've got the chat window open now. I don't know if anybody's watching. It says there's 7 people watching, which is cool. Sorry I didn't announce this before. That's mainly because of the fact that this is just kind of impromptu, and I wanted to kind of go over some other things that I've had in mind, some ideas, mainly with streaming in general, live streams, doing some things along the lines of, I'm going to turn that down so I can hear myself think. What did I do with the remote? I'm terrible to lose remotes. I bet everybody else out there is as bad as I am. Let me see what I did with that. Some ideas in general about streaming, and turn on the table down here. About streaming and about strings, different things like that, as well as some ideas on a Christmas concert I would like to do. Something I found that's really cool and I wanted to check out. You know what? I can use this for lighting since it's pointing directly. There goes the guitar, but that's all right. Point that right at me. Increase some lighting up here. So I'll try to do this. Usually it takes me about 25 to 30 minutes to change my strings, and that's after wiping it down and everything. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this going. Really only use 2 tools, and I've got a video on changing guitar strings on YouTube, and I only use really 2 tools, and that is wire cutters, preferably the ones that have the little, not the needle nose, but the ones that look kind of like that. And that's because they're really good to clamp onto the little bridge pins and get that going. Now, and there's the cat trying to play tag. Let me go ahead and tilt this down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Maybe that'll help. Hopefully the cat won't try to get up here and walk around and all that. Yeah, she is in the mood right now. She is happy to see me, happy that I got home just a few minutes ago, and all that good stuff. So, sorry if I sound loud. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So, the 2 tools are wire cutters and a string winder. I don't use the power drill string winders that automatically wind strings up and things like that. I don't know. I'm just very suspicious about those damaging either the guitar or making my strings, go tune up too quickly and then snapping. I don't like to do that. I like to gradually increase the tension on the strings. And if I would suggest one other tool, it's not really a tool, but it's a product called lemon oil. Now, I've used Hanby's lemon oil for years, and I've had this bottle for years, and it's lasted for a long time. Surprisingly, it says harmful or fatal if swallowed, danger, combustible, flammable. I guess I started reading all the warnings on this thing. It contains aliphatic hydrocarbons. Contents are combustible, and all these other things. I was like, probably shouldn't even be touching this stuff. I don't know, but I use this for the fretboard to help maintain the wood, keep it from cracking. And so I'm going to turn this down. So first thing I do, and like I said, I've got a video on how I change my strings and everything. First thing I do is go ahead, take my tuner off, and increase the strings. These have been on since I think May, somewhere around, maybe in August, I think. So it's definitely time to change them. These are Elixir mediums, phosphor bronze, nano webs, and they've lasted a good time. When it comes to elixirs, especially since it's a coated string, what I usually determine if it's time to change strings or not, number 1, how many shows I've played. Number 2, how kind of dirty the finger area looks and how much residue has been worn off by my pick. And mainly, number 3, how bad the tuning is to maintain. When I have to tune and nothing still seems right, I know that the strings have reached their limit and it's time to change them. I had a guitar luthier tell me one time that the strings only average about, especially these strings, average about 27 hours of life before you really need to change them. I don't go by that. I don't really have a way of telling how many hours I played and all this stuff. I just go by tuning, the feel of the strings, and the amount of wear and tear it looks like they have on them. So I use this little string winder here. You can get this one is a Dunlop string winder. I use this, and as I said, the cat is in the case over here, exploring. She loves getting in the fur-lined case, or whatever you would call it, velvet-lined case. So I use the string winder both to remove the strings, kind of unwind them, and when I'm tuning up, I use it so that I don't have to twist like that. So from there, we're good to go. I'm going to take my little wire cutters here with the little nib here and just slide it underneath. I don't even have to put any pressure on this. I can slide it right underneath the bridge pin and just lift right out. And you can see, if I'm really delicate, you can see them holding. See that holding the bridge pin there. I don't even have to do anything, okay? All right, so I don't know if this matters, but I usually take and make sure that I put the string pins back in the order that I took them out. In other words, the bridge pin that contained the low E string, try to use that same bridge pin for the low E string. I don't mix and match. I just try to do it the same way it has been. And the cat is, I wish you could see her right now, she is facing me in the case, doing this whole I'm sleepy, closing her eyes halfway thing, with her head laying and resting on the edge of the case. So that's awesome. So we have the strings now. Incidentally, there's a cool little place that you can go to. I can't remember where it is now that I think about it, but there's a place online that makes guitar string jewelry. They recycle the guitar strings, and if you want to, you can mail your old strings to them, and that way they can use them for jewelry. And if you're, environment friendly and all this stuff. Me, I don't have the money to keep mailing strings, especially if there's no discount, so that I can buy string jewelry. So I don't fool with it. That may be something you want to do. So I'll just remove these strings, and then I'll get to rolling them up and everything. So what I wanted to talk about today was Christmas is coming up, and usually I've tried to the last several years to have some Christmas videos on YouTube, and it looks like I'll be able to do that again. These were recorded last week, I think. I was with the Gilbert family playing with them at Fall Creek Falls, at the Fall Creek Falls Inn, and we was doing the Christmas on the Mountain, I think. So we have some songs that we had did over there, and my wife recorded those, so I'm going to be uploading those in the next week or so, because Christmas is upon us. But I also found this cool application, or app, or website, or whatever you want to call it. I found this cool website where I can do like a live concert type deal, and make it be like, a live concert, and just do a concert in my home, and people can purchase tickets and things like that to watch a concert or hang out or whatever. And I think it's a really cool idea, a cool concept. I wanted to try it out. I'm not going to charge an exorbitant amount or anything like that. Before I get to that, let me show you a trick on how to wind these. I usually take the ragged end, not the ball ends, but the ragged ends here, and I'll take and tuck it underneath itself, like that. And then I'll just take and thread these through a circle, tuck them all the way around. And then I'll wrap it over itself when I get to that point, so it'll kind of help keep the tension on those curls. And then these are easily disposed of. And once again, these elixirs look brand new. I mean, you just cannot beat elixirs. I've tried all these other products. I haven't tried Clear Tone. I haven't tried those yet because elixirs is pretty much my string of choice. Now, I'm going to apply the lemon oil, and I'm going to do some polishing and all that before I install the other strings. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to continue talking here. I see somebody in the chat window, which I can't read. Says, love your videos, Clayton Duncan. Thank you, Clayton, for tuning in and for giving me that feedback. Appreciate that. This place is called, this online concert place is called Stage It. And I just set up my profile yesterday, I believe it was. And I will be putting live show information on a Christmas concert I'll be doing. It will probably be not next Monday, but Monday following. Today's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, so it'll probably be on the 17th, Monday the 17th, if I've got my dates correct, that I'll be wanting to do this concert. And all it is, it's going to be a Christmas concert where I will be singing Christmas songs live in kind of like as a concert, singing them for you guys. Maybe even taking requests. I'm going to try to get some and play some for you. Maybe do like a couple hours, one hour for the concert and 1 hour for just hanging out on the chat with you guys. And that's going to be through the Stage It website, not a YouTube thing, but through the Stage It website. And I'm going to do this as a test run to see how it's going to work out, mainly for my YouTube base. I'm not going to be announcing this on Facebook or through the newsletter list or anything like that. I want to do this for YouTube fans because this is the one platform that seems to continue to get me views and continue to be faithful to watching my views and commenting and things like that. And I apologize for not being as faithful replying to comments. I know I've kind of been a little lax in that. I did a huge binge comment answer thing the other day to try to get respond to some of those, and I'd like to start doing better at that. So I wanted to try to do that, and look for that to come. I think it's going to be the 17th. It's the Monday before Christmas. And what I'll do is I'll post that information in the community tab of my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel and look in the community area, that's where I'll be posting that information. I didn't know until the other day YouTube announced that I now have access to the community tab where people can look at announcements and things like that. And so that's probably the best way for me to communicate to my YouTube audience what's going to be happening on my YouTube channel. I'm just spraying this with Ernie Ball guitar polish. I've had that for years too. I'm going to start buffing this out. Oh, and I'm going to add a little luminol to this as well, this bridge, because it looks like it's probably ebony as well. That'll help that maintain its oils and everything, rejuvenate the oils. So I'm just going to be doing that through Stage It. And there's a lot of artists, big name artists on there. I've seen Jordan Rudess mentioned, Bon Jovi, Brett Michaels is going to be doing something for New Year's, I think. So it's a legit place, and I definitely want to try it out. And I'm thinking what I may do is just charge $5. So a ticket for $5 will get you a 1 hour concert of Christmas music, maybe a little over, because I tend to ramble and I like to sing Christmas songs. And maybe afterwards do like a hangout on the chat room there so we can interact and maybe talk and maybe get an idea of what you guys want to buy yourselves for Christmas, what things you're expecting to happen. It's funny, every year I don't really know what I want for Christmas until Christmas starts coming, and then I start noticing everything, and I want it all. So maybe we can discuss all kinds of things like that, what everybody's plans are. Speaking of that, so keep an eye out for that. Go to my communities tab on the YouTube Guitarpreneur page and check that out. Be watching that for that announcement. I'd like to set that up within the next day or so and get that going. And there goes my saddle. That's all right. I'll take care of that. Kitty is very interested. She's like, oh, something just dropped. So let's see, what's the other thing? Oh, speaking of the community channel, check that out as well, because I set up a poll there the other day on what you guys would like to see more of here on the channel. I put some different various options like acoustic guitar lessons, electric guitar lessons, live stream hangouts, kind of like what I'm doing right now, writing and screencasts, and kind of miscellaneous videos. And I'm getting some response back. I've had like 42 votes so far, so definitely check that out. Go to that community tab on my YouTube page and put in your input. What would you like to see more of? Right now, an overwhelming 83% of you guys say more acoustic lessons. So that's probably what's going to be happening. Also, that's giving me an idea of what I can do elsewhere. And that's a great segue to talk about that. So my brother told me to check out Twitch. And I know it's mainly a gaming platform, but I've been looking at it, and there's quite a bit of people that play music on there. And I thought, well, maybe late night when I feel like streaming or when I feel like doing something that, is not an acoustic lesson that you guys vote for, I can save that content for a different platform maybe. I don't know. Just some things I've been thinking about, kind of brainstorming about, wanting to figure out what to do with this channel, because another year has gone by and I haven't really posted a whole lot of content on here this year. I've been focusing more on my writing, getting my Smart Focus Book 3 series the series completed. I finally got the editor. I had to hire a new editor because the other one was busy, and so he's been working hard on getting familiar with the previous 2 books, and I just handed the 3rd book over to him the other day. So he is getting that done, so hopefully we can get it out there very soon. Hopefully by, first part of January, I don't know. So I really want to focus on writing more fiction and creating more, maybe live concerts if the Stage It thing is a productive thing that I can do. Because here's the thing, I have had so many things, irons in the fire, and I've been burnt by so many projects I've been doing. The Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course, it's done, it's over with, I've completed it, I've been getting sales on it, and people have been interested in it. But I remember looking back how much of a hassle it was to get that together, even doing it on Udemy. This previous course I did on Udemy for the Scrivener ideas, and the Scrivener course for Compile and all that. Even doing that, let's see, which way was this in there? I always kind of try to look for my pencil mark because that tells me which one's the front. Okay, so that's this side. So I just remember how much effort that took into doing, and I like the idea of doing a concert where I don't have to worry about recording it. I may record some concerts or record some things like that, because Stage It, you can use it for concerts, you can use it for I can use it for some live workshops, maybe a bluegrass workshop or things like that. And instead of doing it in a live venue, we can do tickets for that, and you guys can join me on that. So all kinds of ideas have been going on, but I don't like the idea of sitting down, creating another full-length, blown-out course, waiting on virtual assistants to do the tabs, waiting on having to do the video editing and all this. That's a big hassle, and I'm just not up for that, to tell you the truth. So that's why I haven't done anything besides Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. I haven't done anything else up to that point other than create just random YouTube videos and things like that. I haven't created anything of a course nature because of that. And so I really want to get back into doing something, and this live thing seems like it might be a real good idea, this live concert thing. That brings me back to streaming, which I was talking about using Twitch and maybe different platforms like that. I've been tweaking my OBS software, not on my laptop because I don't stream or videotape on that as much, but I've been tweaking my OBS software on the other computer, my Mac Mini, so that I never really knew you could use that as a full switching system, and I thought that was amazing. My brother told me about that, and I've been getting into that. And so I tweaked those so that I have more little scenes and more things. So now I've got close-ups on my hands and different camera angles and things like that with various webcams, so it looks a lot better. Also, I've been thinking about doing green screen stuff, chroma key. I actually found, there's a little tip if you want to try to do green screen stuff. There's a Party City in my area, and so I went there and got a green tablecloth, fabric tablecloth. It's polyester, washable, machine washable, wrinkle resistant, because you don't want wrinkles in your chroma key background. And it was only like $10 for a 5x7. It's going to be huge. And so now I got to figure out how to put that up and see if that's going to work real well. It's more of a hunter green, a dark green, but by the time I get lighting on it, it will brighten up enough to where I think it's going to work pretty good. But I've been tweaking all that, and so that's got me excited to try to make more, maybe make more course things, because now I have multiple angles and things like that to work with. So we'll see what happens there. I really like the packaging that Lecture has switched to on their products here. So we're going to go ahead and install these medium lights here, and let's see, anything else that's been going on. The Scrivener 3, I've been really excited about. Been writing in it, been using it, and it's got a lot of really cool updates. The compiling system has been completely rearranged and reformatted, overhauled, so to speak. But if you go to ericbeatty.com/Eric's Udemy, you can see the course that I did on Scrivener. Now that's going to be for Scrivener 2. Okay, that's going to be for Scrivener 2, and if I find anything else compiling wise that I need to add to Scrivener 3, then yes, I'll go ahead and add that. But that's going to be mainly for Scrivener 2. So let's see. Anything else that's been going on? We're about to wind down. The Gilbert family and I are about to wind down with our bookings. Our last one actually is going to be December 17th. We're going to be in Georgia. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to be in Georgia with some folks down there. We've had a lot of bookings, been real busy this year, but I'm glad that it's been winding down. Some other news that's going on. I got a huge 7-point deer this year in deer season, and we had to haul that thing out of a huge hollow on the land where I go hunting every year. And Dad's wanting to go hunting tomorrow. He may be even watching this, I don't know. But I'm dreading it because it's going to be cold and it's going to be, snowing it's supposed to be. But by all intents and purposes, I'm pretty much done with deer season because we got enough meat in the freezer. And even though we still got one more deer for the season that we can get, I'm like, oh, these early mornings are killing me. I want to start working on other things. And by the time I get home from deer hunting, and getting everything fixed and ready and everything, I'm so wore out that I don't feel like doing anything. So hopefully we can knock one out tomorrow and be done with it for the season. We last year we got our limit really early, and we got out of there before it got too cold. Well, now, no such luck this year. We're going to have to get in there in the cold this time, and hopefully nobody catches pneumonia, bronchitis, anything like that. So what I'm doing now is actually going ahead and putting all the strings in the bridge pin so that I don't have to fool with it later. I can just go ahead and zip them through the string posts and get that done. And I usually bend the ends of these, and I usually bend the ends to where the excess string is overlapping either on the top or the side. You don't want to have the excess string pointing towards the saddle or the bridge because that can cause tuning problems. And I totally forgot to put lemon oil on that, so let me just do that real quick. It appears that these bridge pins are wooden as well, and so it's probably good to put lemon oil on those. I haven't really tried that, but I don't think I'll worry about that too much. So I'm going to see if anybody, I've had some more people giving me some chat messages there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this last one in and maybe check those out and review my notes if there's anything else that I'm missing. Seems like there's something else I was going to talk about. I'm not exactly sure. Try that again. Go ahead and put some lemon oil here. Bridge. Make sure it kind of restores some of the oils that have been lost. I always like taking good care of my stuff. I mean, that's just all it is to it. So, some other things I've been experimenting with lately is I've been using V-picks a little bit more often because I still love Dragon's Heart guitar picks. Don't get me wrong with that, but I still cannot get used to how small they are. I'm not a jazz pick person. I like a big pick that I can hold on to, and it's going to be a while before they get a mold for a bigger pick. So I thought, well, I'm going to try something else. I've got blue chip picks, but I don't want to spend $30 every time I need a pick when I can get V-picks, and they sound very similar to both blue chip and Dragon's Heart guitar picks. I can get those both for, $4 a pick. I can get a 10-pack for what it cost me to get a blue chip pick, one blue chip pick. So that's my spiel on that. I've been experimenting with the Gladiator from V-Picks, which is a tri-pointed pick, much like the TPs from Blue Chip. You can't really see that because it's clear. Maybe I can do that. But it's a triple pointed pick. And I've also been experimenting with the Tradition Light, which they've recently come out with this nice blue color. And the tip is kind of weird. It kind of does this like that. It kind of comes up in a teardrop shape and then rounds off. Very interesting. But I'm finding that the trouble I'm having with V-Picks now is once they wear down, they kind of have a rough edge, and you get this scrapey sound. It's very tinny and very bright, and it's kind of annoying to hear that all the time. It also catches on the string. So I don't know if I have to sit here and rub this on the carpet until it kind of smooths over or what, but that's one thing I'm running into issue-wise with that. So let me pause here now that I've got the strings in here and take some time to go over here and see what the chat's saying and see if there's anything else I was going to talk about. and show you the kitty. Oh, I lose it. Say hi, kitty. That's you. That's you. Yes, it is. You and your little bell. You and your little bell. Okay, so chat room. Nice. Grandpa's mandolin. Great video. Thanks so much, guys. Tagged my deer. Oh, he's talking about the deer, I think. Tagged my deer 6 weeks ago. Opening day, avoiding the cold. Yeah, I don't blame you there, buddy. Dad told me, he said, yeah, about after Thanksgiving, all the hunters will be gone because most of them go out after that. And I'm like, I wish I could be gone because I'd be one of those most of them if it was me. So let me check the chat room here, or not the chat room, but the description. See what my ideas are and see if I can figure out. Let's see here. New ideas concerning YouTube channels, streaming other platforms, live Christmas concert. That's pretty much the ideas that I had. Let me play some more of the video, make sure that the sound and everything's looking good. Before with YouTube. So let's see. Let me unmute myself, see if this is working. Well, I hope you guys can see this. It looks like it's hung on the first little part here. Maybe not. Let's see. See what's going on here. Cool, but it's a product. Okay, so apparently it's still going. It's a little bit reverby. Sorry about that. My blue chip is holding strong after a year. Yes, they last quite a long time. I will say that for blue chip. They do last quite a long time. 6 viewers still. That's all right. So let's get back on with this string change here. Hopefully I've still got that situated pretty well. There we go. Let you see the top of the tree. All right, so let's see. Go ahead and get these strings put on here. There we go. Good deal. And apparently the bulb here is still pretty bright. Let me get that out of the shot if possible. Move that over here. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about trying to use my setups. I'll tell you what I can talk about. There's a guy named David Say. You may or may not be familiar with his work. This is goal setting time of the year for me. Getting ready, reviewing what's been going on this year and see what I want to work on next year. December is the time for me to do that, especially the last part of December. And I've been looking into getting some more ideas as far as planners go. Because the planners, I've got my passion planner, the one I continue to use, but it's about to run out. And I haven't won a new passion planner. I haven't bought a new passion planner. I haven't decided and stuck with one exactly. So what I want to do is, I've been looking for all these different areas to work with. And the Wi-Fi has just come in. I'm streaming live right now, string changing and talking. So yeah, she's laughing. The cat is, in my case watching. But I've been checking out his channel and really enjoying what he calls the Emergent Task Planner. Really cool device there, really cool tool. He's a designer, and he works on coding and he works on productivity tools. He's got a lot of good ones out there. And it's Dave, DaveSeah, DaveSay.com. You can check his stuff out. He's got some really neat stuff. He's got some productivity tools, and definitely check him out. But my wife is distracting me. Why don't you come over here and say hi?
I'm going to go hang Christmas lights before it goes dark.
Okay, well, let everybody see the outfit you're sporting over here.
All I can say is that it's very, very cold, so please forgive my fashion sense.
Yeah, so I've got 6 viewers, 5 viewers now in the chat. You can read the chat for me. Let me know what everybody's saying there. If you want to. Just the last couple of lines there, I think. By Grandpa's Mandolin, I think the one that's talking.
My blue chip is holding strong after a year.
What's after that?
Almost nowhere, but I also play other instruments, so not every day.
Okay.
And same person again. Eric, have you watched Billy String play? I'm a big Doc Watson fan, and he emulates him a lot.
Okay.
I'm not reading that. IMO for a young guy. Cool to see.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Billy Strings. I've not watched him play. I've had him on my watch list forever and just never got around to watching him, so I kind of took him off and forgot about it. But I've had a few people tell me about his play, and so I guess I need to get back on there and check that out. If I don't know if anybody else is like me, if you have a lot of stuff on your Netflix, then no doubt your watch list is completely cram-packed full with like 100 videos or more. And so that's my problem. I got all kinds of videos on my watch later on YouTube. Doc Watson, it's funny you mentioned him. I've got somebody, and it may have been you, I'm not exactly sure who it was, requested me to do some Doc Watson leaks and things like that. And now that I think about it, it may be a good idea since people are, seems like they're voting more on the acoustic guitar content. I don't have to worry about all these ideas about, okay, electric guitar lessons, this and that lessons. If I could just focus on one thing on YouTube and then reserve the other content for a different channel, then it may be a lot easier to come up with lessons based on requests that I've been getting. For example, I've been getting requests for Doc Watson lessons and things like that. And up until this point, it seems like I've had so many ideas of my own and so many projects that I didn't want to commit to all these lessons and all these requests. I eventually took the request list down. I've still got an archive of all the ones that have been requested for when I ran out of ideas. Well, funny thing that never happened. You're always coming up with ideas, and it's just hard to get caught up on all of them. And there's the cat. Okay, so I'm just winding these very, slightly tight, just enough to where they'll stretch the string out, and I don't have to worry about them flopping around. The way I do these is I pull them all the way through the, I'll get back to that in a minute if I can remember, Doc Watson things, Doc Watson requests, if I can remember. I pull these all the way through the string post, and then it's always, when I first started playing guitar, it was hard to tell how much slack to leave in the strings. And I've since learned from a guy from eBay how to change my strings the way that has worked for me for years now. He actually had custom tuning pegs that I got from him, and he told me about his way of changing strings, and I've done that ever since. Basically, you allow enough slack from one post to the next post, so you pull the string tight within its own slot on the nut, pull it tight, and then extend that string all the way until you get to the next post. For the end post, I do it all the way to the headstock, and then you take that pinched area and push it back, and that allows you slack, okay? And then from there, hit it. No, you'll get burned. It's fire. Anyway, I'll take from there where my finger lands and push inward toward the middle of the headstock, so into the headstock, and that kind of locks that place, that string in place. And like I said, look on how I change strings, my proven method for changing strings on YouTube for a more, close-up view. From there, I take it and I wrap it around at the top. Now, you can either do this one or two ways. You could go ahead and pre-wrap the string around the top of the post so that the excess string is laying now on the top of that little bend. Or when you start twisting it, you can allow the string to go on top of it and then underneath. So it's kind of like a crisscross, where it almost acts like a lock, like your own little string locking tuner, kind of thing. So I'm going for the thicker strings, I can't do that. But for the first 4 strings, maybe 5, I'll take and wrap that around the outside of the post, coming into the post, because that's the side that's going to be feeding back into the nut. So I'll come around, make sure I've got enough slack here. I don't know if I gave myself enough slack or not. Seems like I did. Yeah, there should be enough slack there. So I'll come around, wrap that around the top. And so now the top edge of the string is resting on that excess. Man, that doesn't seem like a lot of slack. What's going on here? It's there. I don't know why it didn't seem like it is. Let me get myself another look here. All the way to the end. Okay, so that works. It's just I ended up tugging it a little bit further back. So hopefully this will be all right. Just do the best we can and see what happens here. I may not get many winds on this. This kind of scares me. There's not a lot of room here, but since I've already put all these bends and everything on this string, I can't really do much about it. So now I'm going to feed this underneath. Yeah, there's not a lot of winds on there, but I can't do much about that. There's only one wind, and you don't want that. But we'll just have to cross our fingers every time we play. So back to the Doc Watson request thing. I haven't done a lot of requests because of all this extra stuff that I've been working on. One last thing about this is when I get to the last two strings, I allow for a post and a half for excess slack. All right. So I haven't been able to get the request thing because I just felt like I had too much on my plate. Going into this next year, I'm going to be doing quite a few changes. I'm going to try to, so that I'm not so overwhelmed by different things that I feel like I have to do, and so I can focus on things that I love doing, that I really enjoy doing and want to work towards. And that's my goal, is to be happy at what I do this coming year, because I've just been so stressed out lately, trying to feel like I'm obligated to do this or that, saying yes, 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 when I need to be saying no to some things. Even if it puts my business in jeopardy for a little bit, because, I don't know, for example, lessons, I haven't been getting a lot of interest in lessons, private lessons, for certain days of the week. And so rather than go there one day a week, or for one student, and feel like I'm rushed to get my things done so that I can go to town for one student and then come all the way back or whatever, consolidating those lessons to other days of the week. So that's what I've been really thinking about doing, and I think that will help my stress levels a lot. So this last string, I'm going to put this one on. Since I don't have a way to really wrap it around the top, I'm just going to let it feed through here. Now, here's an important factor. You've got to, this last string is a booger to get going, because you've got to feed it over the top of the other strings, and it wants to go on the bottom of them. Once I get that top around, then I'll bend that up to get that out of my way. Now, usually too, when I change my strings, like every other time or so, is when I'll be checking the bolts on the posts, making sure that there's no loose nuts or anything like that on the top of the post, making sure there's no loose screws or anything like that on the posts themselves. But I think I'm good on this one in that sense. And now that they're up, what I do is I go ahead and tune it up to standard on all strings, and hopefully that D string will be okay, because, man, that's just very low. And as it stretches, there'll be more winds on it. So hopefully it'll be all right. I do not want the string to break. If it does, I'll just have to replace it with something besides Elixir or something. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and start tuning this thing, and I may have to not talk here for a little bit. I start with a D because every time I tune my guitar, I start with a D because I heard somewhere that it balances out the tension on the guitar a lot better when you start from a D, because you have a low string, a semi-low string, going to a higher string. By the time you get around to the low strings, it balances everything out a little bit more. So I don't go D, 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 or backwards. I usually start with a D, go all the way to the highs, and then go back around to the lows. So here we're going to do that, and that's what this is for. I'm still going to use this. It's a B. I need it to be a D. As I'm doing that, I'm going to push to help stretch that string. I'm also going to make sure that it's staying in the bridge pin. As that feeds through, it should wrap around the bottom. So there's that one. Then I'm going to go to G. each time I'll check the previous one. Make sure it's still in standard. And then I'll go to the next one. The washer making noise. Now we're going to the low strings. Definitely make sure that one's seated real well in the bridge. Usually for the last two, I don't worry about the intonation of the other string. Now I don't need this anymore. It was just for the initial tuning up because everything is close enough. So now I'm going to go one more time through the D all the way back to that low E and the A. Make sure it's in standard. If it's a little tighter, I'm not too worried about it. And now once it's a standard, here's the point where we make sure that it stays in tune for the most part. A lot of people don't do this, and this is a mistake. You want to pre-stretch your strings, okay? So get the strings, make sure everything's seated very nicely, and start taking from this side first, pull and bounce, and pull and bounce up here. Next string, over the sound hole, over about the 12th fret, pull and bounce, then come to about the 5th fret, pull and bounce. Next string, same thing. Okay, now make sure they're seated, flip it over, tune it again. Now, that's not a good sign because there's so few winds on this that it didn't stretch much. And you want to have a few winds enough where it will stretch and there's not a whole lot of extra tension. So that kind of scares me. Hopefully it'll be all right. I haven't had a electric string break in years. So let's see if this hopefully works in the long run. That was one. We're going to do it again. I do this usually a total of 3 times. And by then, usually I don't have to worry about it tuning-wise as much. Because what you're looking for is the tuning to get closer and closer to staying where it's supposed to be. In other words, if I stretch the D and it's like, maybe C, D, B, or C, at that point, then I stretch it again and it's closer to C sharp, and I stretch it again and it's closer to D. You want it to reach the point to where it's close to what it's supposed to be without you stretching it, causing it to go way out of tune. And that's when you know it's about ready. So this is just short of D. That one's almost there. G's almost there. B's almost there. So they're pretty much there. So I'm going to do it one more time anyway, because I always do it 3 times. Thanks, guys, for chatting. I can't read from back here, so I'll have to get to it here just a little bit. Looks like I got 7 viewers again. Anyway, check out Dave Say's website, DaveSay, DaveSeah.com. His productivity tools are amazing. I highly recommend the Emergent Task Planner, the ETP. If you'll look at, if you do a search for Thing a Day, and look up Annoyed Task Planner, that one is hilarious too. It's one of those things where you're like, I feel annoyed at everything, yet I want to get some work done. And so it's a really cool one as well. You can actually buy his task planner notebook size, either a mini version or a full-size notebook on Amazon. It's called the Emerging Task Planner. I definitely recommend his stuff. He's got a stream every day called What's Up Dave, where he kind of informs his people on the internet about what kind of work he's working on and things like that. I can almost see myself doing that, but at the same time, this YouTube channel is kind of dedicated more to guitar lessons and things like that, so I don't want to bore my watchers and viewers with just, oh, here's what I'm doing today. I haven't kind of trained my audience for that. That's why I've been looking at Twitch and maybe other avenues to do these other things that might not appeal to my YouTube audience. So let's check this tuning one more time. And I'm going to call that good. One little tip on tuning your guitar strings that probably, I don't know how many people do this, but if you ever have to tune down, make sure that you tune back up just a little bit, that you kind of lock it in place. That'll help your tuning tremendously to stay in place. Because if you leave it loose, then the string can pull on that post and kind of get it out of place again. So make sure when you're tuning down, give it a nice little twist, the opposite direction, towards the sharp end of the tuning, the twist, so that you can make sure that it stays locked in place. Now, all I do from here is I go ahead and clip off, very carefully, the excess strings. I don't like to curly cue them and all that. I like my guitars to look nice and clean. And I say very carefully because I did this one time, and after that I've never done it again because I learned my lesson. Brand new set of electric strings, and I go to clip the end of the strings, and pow, a G string pops because I clipped that one as well. So definitely be sure that you're not grabbing any more than the string end of one string so it doesn't pop. All right, now go ahead and get those ready. And only pretty much with these kind of clips I was telling you about, there's enough excess to leave if you'll go to the top of the string post where that string is, and maybe just a little bit above that, and go ahead and clip that if it's pointed upwards like I've been mine upwards. That leaves me plenty of enough string if I need to kind of wind it around and kind of do all that. All right, so here's the D string. Hopefully this will not release too much. Good deal. Working my way around the rest of the way. Now another thing you could do, is I should have done this already, is pre-wind these around before you clip them. That way they'll already be headed that direction. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. And you always want to make sure you clip them straight. Don't clip them at an angle because then you got a really sharp point that'll stab you just about every time. So be very aware of that. Make sure that you're clipping them at straight, not at an angle. And usually this will cause your guitar to go out of tune just a little bit, not too bad. So I always double check the tuning one more time. Blow that off in case there's any excess steel residue from the clippings. Go ahead and make sure that these are fed proper way as well around the string post so they're not sticking up. Some of them will bite you, gotta be careful. So back to tuning, let's see how that fared, especially this D string. Bad. Usually E string gets hit pretty bad. Make sure everything's still seated, give it a nice strum on the G. B's a little too much. Already, these medium lights feel really good on my fingers. I got a little bit more snap. Have to get used to them. They're new, so they're kind of slippery. Now, hopefully, I won't have to do any changing on the truss rod or anything like that, because the string gauge is a lot medium now instead of straight on medium. Hopefully, I won't have to do much in the way of changing my truss rod or anything like that. If I do, no big deal. One thing I'm really curious about is, I need to get my capo for this. I've been having issues with I can't remember what it was called, but I think there's a rattle in the truss rod. They call it a sympathetic rattle. That's what it is. I think it's called a sympathetic rattle. And it usually happens on the G, or on the 3rd fret on the E string. It rattles like crazy. So I was hoping that if I reduced the tension and went to a lighter gauge on those bottom strings, that would eliminate that. So let's see if it does. I'll use my shove capo here. That should be tight enough. There we go. Hear that? That rattle is still there. So I usually have to fiddle with this until I can find a good spot to where that rattle ceases. There we go. So that didn't help that. So that's going to get this way out of tune, but with these thin strings, I can do those Tony Rice bends. And plus, it's going to be stuck there now in the capo, maybe. Not too bad. A little bit of a rattle there. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to do for the concert I was telling you about, for those of you just tuning in. I'm considering using a platform called StageIt for doing a live Christmas concert. I think it's going to be Monday, December the 17th. It's not going to be this coming Monday, but the week after that, the week before Christmas. I think that's the day I'm going to set it for. Please stay tuned on my community tab on my YouTube channel. When I get the link and when I get the access to the show and get all that set up, probably the next day or two, I'll post it there, and that way I can make sure that everybody can see what that's going to be, what day it's going to be, and the information details and things like that. I just want to do, just sit down and maybe something like this, to where you guys can hear me just fine, and I may try, if it works, try to put a lapel mic on instead of doing it through the microphones on there. Don't you agree this would be an awesome setting to do? This is probably about to run out. So, let's see where we're at here. This is the Birchwood edition of Fireplace for Your Home. Yeah, this has got 4 minutes left. So, it's been about an hour long. That's about how long this has taken, because talking and everything, it takes a little bit longer to do string changes. So, from here, all I'll do is I'll take and put the strings in the packaging that it came in, and just toss it in the trash. Like I said, if you want to, you can search for, I don't remember what the name of the website is, but you can search for the website that makes guitar string jewelry, and they have a recycling program that you can send it to them. Now, you don't get anything back for that, but if you're environmentally friendly and all that, and you want to work with doing that, then by all means, go ahead. So then I go ahead and put all my tools back in here that I took out, and make sure that they're set. We actually have to leave to go to play practice here in a little bit, so I can actually test these out and see how they work tonight. So let me just take a quick gander at the chat, and my battery is very low at 8%, so it's going to start shutting down automatically, so let me go ahead and get that plugged in. So I'll definitely have to have this thing hooked up to a battery if I use this to stream that day for the concert. So I'm going to go ahead and unwind that, get that plugged in. Take a moment here to look at what's in the chat, and then call it a night. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. Hopefully it was, somewhat entertaining. Do check out the community tab as well. Just to repeat, check out the community tab right now because I've got a poll going on as to what you guys would like to see on the channel. Acoustic lessons, electric lessons, live streams like this, where we hang out, writing related videos, screencasts, and other miscellaneous things like that. So definitely check those out at the community tab on my YouTube channel so you can vote for what you would like to see here. And I will try to get to those requests for Doc Watson and different things like that. Let me go ahead and, I forgot to turn the strip on here so that it recognizes that it is indeed charging. And it really runs battery out when you're streaming or doing video. Okay, so back to the chat. Let's see, Grandpa's Mandolin, Probe ROM, Merry Christmas, a new guitar. I can't remember what I was talking about at the time, so I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. A new guitar, hello from Sweden. Wow, John P., thanks so much for watching. From Berlin, Probe ROM, thank you for watching, you guys. Nice guitar. No, this is not a Martin. That is my Breedlove DR Deluxe Revival Series. I've got many different videos on that. Also, if you check out my playlist, 'Tis the Season, you'll see a slew of videos there that are labeled A Breedlove Christmas. That's when I first got this guitar. And that's been about 2 years ago. And so it's been an amazing, it was a gift actually from one of my students. And it was an amazing gift. Rick Hayes, not exactly sure what you mean there. Wayne Riola, can you have my children? Sorry, I am a male and I cannot bear children. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm happily married as well, so couldn't go down that rabbit hole. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're about to head out for play practice and pizza play practice and all that good stuff. So, let me know in the comments below after you're watching this if the stream, if the video quality is okay. It looks like I'm not experiencing I'm experiencing 166 dropped frames, which is 0.1%, which isn't bad. I've not seen any lag or whatsoever in OBS, which was what I'm using. So consider turning down video encoding overloaded. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully the stream is okay. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, John P., for that. Thanks, and I will see you guys. Be watching this week's video is going to be a video based on the previous video called Sassy Bluegrass Lick in G. It's a lick that I kind of discovered and mentioned in that video, and it's called Sinister, Weird, Creepy Bluegrass Lick. So definitely check out the channel for that. And also, and give me just a second because now this is not doing the fireplace. Check out that because it's going to be a very interesting finger exercise. The Sinister, Weird, Bluegrass, Creepy Bluegrass Lick. That's going to be happening this Tuesday. And then I'm also going to be uploading the videos from our concert at Fall Creek Falls, Christmas on the Mountain. So there's some Christmas songs coming from there. And Tuesday, let me confirm this. Monday, that's Monday the 18th. If I'm not mistaken, Google Calendar trying to reload here. So 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, yeah. Monday the 18th. I said 17th. I had that wrong. It's Monday the 18th. I'm going to try to do a live concert for Christmas on Stage It. And once I get more information about that, it will be posted on the community tab of my YouTube video, or my YouTube channel. So thanks, guys, so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and I'll see you guys next time. And so just keep watching my channel for more ideas and more different things like that. And if I do start streaming on Twitch, I will let everybody in the community know, for those of you that want to kind of join me on there as well. I haven't really committed to it. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of lurking on all the channels and learning all about Twitch, learning all about Discord, which is a chat, kind of app and voice app and things like that. So maybe thinking about getting into some of that. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll try to do some more videos for Doc Watson and requests and things like that. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys soon. And keep playing that bluegrass. God bless.